right, welcome back to the What's Your Motor podcast. Today is a very special episode. I have a longtime friend, brother. We're alumni from Mesmer, so this is going to be a great conversation. He's a businessman, a husband, a father, a community guy, really, really big into the community. I'm going to let him talk about some of those things, but welcome Victor Sloan, my boy Vic, to the podcast. What's going on, Vic?
Coolin', man. Appreciate you having me, bro.
How you feeling today?
Feeling pretty good, man. Feeling pretty good. I ain't working, so that's always good. Yeah, man. I just want to say I appreciate you having me on, bro. It's dope what you doing. I like the whole setup and stuff like that. So definitely big thanks on that.
Oh, for sure. So for I know we got a lot of people that kind of like do know us because of being in the city and stuff like that. But I look at you as like a humble guy, so you don't really look for a lot of notoriety. But I always want to shine light on those people that I really see and I work with closely, and our friendship goes beyond just podcasts. We can play ball together.
Yeah.
We can get into that later, but we quit together. All that good stuff. But I just feel like having you on here would be a good look because you do some great things, and I don't think a lot of people acknowledge you for that. So, just for starters, what was it like for you growing up here in Milwaukee before we met?
Honestly, bro, growing up in Milwaukee was like, it was great. Like, you know what I mean? To me, like growing up because I always say I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s and the 2000s, right?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like a blessing, because we got a little bit of the nostalgic before the computer.
Rotary phones.
Yeah, before the cell phone.
Yeah.
I remember, bro, when it wasn't even computers in schools yet, and I remember when the first computers start. When we first started having computers.
Right.
And so I always say it was great, bro. But growing up, to me, it was great. But to somebody from the outside would probably think like it was that inner city ghetto upbringing. You know what I mean? Young mother. Father. I was fairly young father. He was still kind of young when he had me.
Okay.
And then you got to think of the era they were together, and they were together in the 80s. So what was going on out here?
There's a lot going on in the 80s.
Drugs, money,
violence,
prison time, mothers having young teen mothers.
Yeah.
So, they were together in that time.
Right.
So I'm big on not like trying to tell somebody else's story, but their story from my point of view was obviously my pops. He was in the he was trying to find his way. You know what I mean? He was in the streets. I don't say that glorifying it.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it was a lot different than it is now, right?
Right.
So they were like trying to find ways to take care of, what they had to take care of, and so I say that to say, up and down.
Right.
Sometimes your parents doing good, you get a couple pairs of shoes. Sometimes they ain't doing so good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey boy, you better take out that toothbrush and get you some soap and water and clean off your shoes and wash your shoestrings. And so it was, that struggle, bro, in real life, like built me.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying?
Okay.
Of course, you don't like it going through it.
Especially as a kid, like you don't even understand it. Yeah. And then you had siblings.
I had siblings, so my mom, let me stop everything. Happy birthday, moms! Today is our birthday.
Shout out my dude.
I want to say happy birthday. So when you see this, mom, happy birthday. But so with my mom, it was just me and my sister. So everybody that went to school with us, they knew Vic and Sade.
Got you. Yep, I remember Sade.
Yeah. So like everywhere we went, it was me and her.
Mm-hmm.
But people always just thought it was us two. But didn't know I had 5, 6 other siblings.
I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm. So my father had 5 or 6 other kids. Don't be mad at me, pops. I didn't get the number right. But I want to say that to say I'm not saying that because I don't know them.
Right.
Because we were all close.
Got you. So you still have relationships with all of them.
Yeah. So like
to some degree.
My dad didn't play that. That mama. He was like, y'all my kids. And wherever he was. Mm-hmm. We was.
Got you.
So like, wasn't no, he can't. Nah, pops. I commend him for that. He stood on that. Like, he made sure that all of us, stayed at least in touch. You get older and different little things happen. But as kids, Nah.
So is it safe to say that you had a good relationship with your father?
Yeah. Well, yeah. But I'm gonna say this: I got a better relationship with him now.
Okay.
It's safe to say when I was young, I had a scared relationship with my father.
Okay, you had a fear.
Yeah.
Was it a healthy fear or was
Yeah.
it what?
I
Okay,
needed it.
right, right,
I
right.
didn't think that at the time, but I needed it.
How important is that for young, especially young black men like us, to have a father, especially our own father, to really be there, and we had a healthy fear, as opposed to them not being there or only here monetarily and not really spending that time with us. How important is that?
Man, that's like, bro, it's everything. Like, I don't like to get into the man and woman wars, but uh, whether you talking about biblically or whatever,
Uh huh.
fathers are important, man. Men are important to the society, bro. That's why I push, I push men so much. Like, I like to highlight things that men do as well because we got to get back to realizing that in our communities, especially, we need men, right? You know
Right.
what I mean? You hear so many podcasts or different shows. I don't need no man. I'm an independent single woman.
Right. Right. Right.
And I think that rhetoric hurts us. So for me, having that, first of all, that healthy fear of my father, but having him involved in my life was important because I seen what I was and what I wasn't.
So,
So I seen this.
so is it true? And this is crazy that you even telling me that. I appreciate your perspective because is it true that a son kind of seeks or can validate his identity through his father?
Yep. For me though, I was just trying to figure him out because you got to remember what I just told you. He was in the street, so he was in and out the house. So
Okay.
yeah, he would come get me. He dropped me off with my brothers and sisters, like you know what I mean. But he was doing what he was doing. So he was light skinned. I'm brown skinned, right?
Right.
So I'm like, all right, we don't look exactly alike. That's how I'm thinking at the time.
Right.
You 5'6", you're looking at this person trying to identify yourself within them, right?
Right.
So I'm looking like, you know what I mean? So,
Right. Trying to measure up.
but he wasn't like real sit down and explain it to you at that type of person. He was just kind of matter of fact. Hey, go in there and do that. Hey, get up. Hey, man, go put your clothes on.
Right.
He wasn't like, hey.
Straight to the point.
Yeah, you got to put your clothes on because we need to go to... No, he wasn't doing none of that. It's like, hey, da-da-da. So I'm still trying to figure him out. Like, but he was mean to me. So I was like, because my mom, it's like, I don't gotta ask for nothing when I go to my mama. When I go to my mama's house. I go in there and get a cake.
Mom's gonna take care of everything. Yeah, do your thing.
Yep, go ahead.
Right.
Over there, it's like, all right, it's 5 or 6 of us. You can't be just going in there eating no honey bun. Everybody got to get one.
Right. You got to divvy up this.
Right. So it taught me not to be selfish. It taught me just having that around. But I wanted to circle back to it taught me who I was and who I wasn't. So when I go to my daddy's house, you might gotta fight your cousin. You might gotta fight with your cousins.
Right.
So now when I'm going back home when it's just me and my sister, and you trying to like step to me or pull me, it ain't happening. Like this ain't that.
That all created your character.
Yeah, because
who you are.
It was DNA off the top.
Right.
Sometimes you just got to be put in them situations for your DNA
to come
show.
out. Right.
Right. But me seeing that is like I'm coming up around. My dad had 7 brothers.
Okay.
They was all pretty much the same.
Right.
You know what
no,
I mean?
for sure.
But you know what I mean?
Apple didn't fall too far from the tree.
And this ain't no, like, me telling my story. This like public record. You know what I mean?
No, I know what you mean.
This public record. So
right.
What I'm saying is, even if when it wasn't my dad, I'm looking at my uncles. I mean, he just got out from doing this much time.
Right. This is what you seeing.
So yeah, I'm like, okay, I know I ain't nobody, you know what I mean? That you can just roll over or step to. But it was also, they were, like, to me, gentlemen as well. They had qualities where they taught you things that you could use in life.
Gotcha.
So I would take those things from going with my father to go back to my mom's crib.
Right.
And then I would implement them. Like, I'm a protector when it comes to my sister.
Did you feel like you was the man in the house?
When I got a certain age.
Okay.
Like, I just felt like I was the protector of my sister.
Okay.
My mom's. So we just talked about my dad, but I gotta go to my mom's real quick. So my mom's side of the family was all women. My dad all men.
Right.
So my mom's side of the family, South Christian, more
Gotcha.
Christian based and stuff like that. But
Uh-huh.
mom's was young and turned. Like I
Right.
keep it real. Mom's was going out.
Okay.
She was living her life because she came up in the era where it's like, all right, we coming out of this. Black women were starting to find their own identity and what the world had to offer them.
Yep.
I want to go to the Navy.
That
My mom
liberation.
went to the Navy. Like,
Okay.
I want to see what life got for me.
Right.
And mom's wasn't no pushover. So I got both DNAs where it's like, you feel what I'm saying?
I'm
so
standing for something.
I knew that wasn't, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying that those situations didn't present themselves, but I just always was like,
right.
Had the attitude where it was like,
and I think
I know who I am.
And I can see that because you always seem super sure of yourself. Even when we was in high school, when we used to go, and we could talk about it in a minute, but when we would have debates or you would debate with somebody, you was always sure of yourself. Like
DNA,
you was always like, yeah. And
that's
I can.
DNA,
so you saying that makes
because
so much sense.
Because I might have been like nervous in that situation,
but
DNA kicked in. Like,
yeah. That was your disposition. You were given that disposition through DNA. I feel that.
Yeah.
So talk about your educational journey in Milwaukee. Like, what was it like? I know you went to public school and then you finally came to Mesmer, but what was that like for you?
Man, I'm gonna keep it real with you, bro.
What schools did you go to?
I went to. I'm glad you asked that. My very first elementary school was La
Follett, right off 10th and Burleigh. That's where my pop stayed, right there.
Okay. I stayed on 9th and Burleigh.
I don't know if we should say it, but it's called Dime Bag. But
yeah. Yeah. So, La Follette, 65th Street School.
Okay.
Engelberg.
I used to live out there. Yeah, my buddy went to Engelberg.
81st Street School.
81st Street School. Okay.
And the reason why I went to all those schools is inner city living, man. You move a lot when you got a single mom.
So how many schools is that?
La Follette, Engelberg, 65th, 81st, 4.
That's all through 8th grade?
To 6th grade.
To 6th grade.
You know, back then it was elementary, middle, high.
So you went to John Muir?
Then I went to John Muir for
6 through 8?
I mean,
6 through 8. 6 through 8. Yeah.
So it was, moving around a lot. That's why I had a lot of friends, like, because, you know what I mean? It was like, I went to this school, I went to that school, but I'm going to be honest with you, bro. Like, looking back on it, NPS was a scary place, bro.
Yeah, and you went, and that's 5 different schools?
5 different schools.
I went to 6 different schools.
Yeah.
But like you said, NPS was scary.
And then me and my sister, we went there together.
Right.
And I said that to say NPS was a scary place when I look back at it now. No, seriously, bro, because you dealing with people that are in what's the word I want to say? Well, you're dealing with people that are in not shelters.
Where some of them are homeless.
Yeah, home. So they're not adopted, but foster homes. I'm sorry.
Yeah, foster kids.
You're dealing with foster kids. You're dealing with kids who might be getting sexually assaulted.
Physically abused.
Kids whose parents are on drugs. Who live with their grandma because their mom and their dad did.
A lot of kids grew up with grandparents, didn't they? Doing that when we were growing up, especially.
But we didn't know this, right?
Right.
But one day somebody could be your friend, and then he could be having a bad day because what we just said going on at home, right?
Absolutely.
And then he swing off and punch you in the face.
Yep.
Like, I done seen this happen.
Impulsive.
And it's like, dang, bro, like, we've been cool, but you don't know what he's going through.
Right. And as a kid, that's a lot to process.
And that's a lot to process. And then, like, NPS schools, the class sizes are bigger. So you dealing with... So, look, you focused on your class, but what about the other class? Dude don't like you because he like the girl that you sit next to and y'all... So
that happened in 6th grade.
It was why, like... And then, for me, like I said, I had a big family on my dad's side of men and cousins and all of that stuff. But nobody never knew that because none of them ever went to school. It was like, you feel what I'm saying? So it was me and my sister, we went to school together.
Right.
So now you got to protect yourself in this environment, and then you have to be looking out for your sibling.
Yep.
And then, you having fun. Don't get it wrong, bro. It was fun.
Right.
Definitely was fun. Mm-hmm. But looking back on it, and when I look at where some of my classmates ended, I had a homie, man. He was at John Muir, and he ended up, I think at like 16, getting like 30 years. So and then I was just looking up his case the other day. Like, he got this way back, like in '03. And I'm looking at his case, he's still in there. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
That's 20 years.
Yeah, but I look at a lot of the people that ended up getting indicted, going to the feds and different stuff like that. And so
dying.
When I look back at it, that's probably my view of it now. Like,
right.
Man, that's kind of a scary place for a kid to be. You feel what I'm saying? But at the time, it was fun.
In the moment, you didn't really recognize
Hot
that.
Boys, you know what I mean? Jabot suits, the shiny Jabot suits with the Reeboks. You know what I mean? All that. It was fun. House parties.
Okay, so wait. Okay, so what made you pick Mesmer?
Man,
for high school.
Gotta give a big shout out to Katrina Washington, K. Wash, man.
Katrina Washington.
Her and my sister was her and Sade was good friends in middle school.
Okay.
And so we were trying to get into Rufus King. Everybody in my neighborhood was trying to get into Rufus King.
I applied for King too.
Nobody got in, and so we didn't know where we was going.
Right.
So we had something at the school, and my mom came, and so. My sister introduced my mom to her, like, oh, this is my good friend.
Right.
And so the father was right there, and so they just got to talk. She's like, where they going? And I was like, I don't know. They ain't getting King. So we trying to figure it out. She's like, you should put them in Mesmer. And my mom like, what's that?
A lot of people didn't know what that was.
She's like, what's that? And so she told her, and to her, I'm gonna keep it real with you. To her benefit, I'm gonna say she was spitting it like she knew what she was talking about. She was spitting it like, yeah, you can sign up for this.
About the school?
Yeah. So, and her dad too was there. So, mom started looking into it, man. And I want to give her big shout outs and credit, bro. Like, she stayed on it, and that ended up being one of the best things that ever happened to me in my life, bro. Like, I didn't want to go to Mesmer.
Right.
I played basketball, so I thought I was going to go play basketball in high school, and so that wasn't one of the lit schools. I never even heard of it.
You wanted to go to a public school?
I went to go to public school.
Gotcha.
And so moms woke us up one day. She was like, y'all ain't going to school. We always had to go to school. So I'm like, huh? She's like, I ain't going to school today. She was like, get dressed. So we started walking.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, where are we going? She took us to the place, it's the Dak Shack now, but it used to be called the Diner.
Yep, the Diner.
And she took us there. We ate some pancakes. I'm like, oh, this lit. So we keep walking. I'm like, where are we going? So we walked to Mesmer. She like, y'all shadowing today. And then I ended up going in there shadowing Tracy. And it was ended up being
Tracy Cunningham, your cousin. Yeah.
My cousin. Bro, loved it immediately.
From the shadow day?
From the shadow day.
I don't even think I shadowed in 8th grade.
You know why? Because I came in kind of nervous. Like, we talking about seniors and juniors. You know what I mean? So I'm like, man, they might be coming from MPS. I'm like, they might be ribbing.
You didn't know what to expect.
Like, bro, you see my shoes
in high school,
I
yeah.
Respect, bro.
Bigger kids.
Bro, they came open arms. What's your name? Upperclassmen look over at us, keep going about their business. It was just like, it was love, bro. So I was like, oh, Mesmer.
So you end up coming to Mesmer.
I'm feeling this, yeah.
So you end up coming to Mesmer. You was there freshman year.
Yeah.
Talk about what happened.
So,
what caused you not to be there for a minute?
We ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I got kicked out.
Right.
So what happened was, it was the transition coming from MPS to a private school environment.
Right.
So I was just used to. I was gonna keep doing everything I was doing at John Muir, barely putting in any effort. From what teachers call being disruptive, doing different things like that. But basketball at the time was saving me because Mr. Connors.
Shout out Mr. Connor.
Mr. Connor, man.
Mike Connor. Man. He'll run you to death with them stairs, boy.
Yeah, man. One of my favorite people that I ever played for. But Mike Connor, I think he never did nothing to show me that I was one of his favorites, but I always felt like I was one of his favorites.
Got you.
You know what I mean?
Got you.
So I know it was him. You know what I mean? So I playing on the basketball team, bro, not getting good grades, being involved in stuff and doing things that I had no business doing. And they ended up, a situation happened. I was there. And honestly, bro, I didn't want to give up my information. Being honest,
as a kid, you ain't supposed to say nothing, right?
Because where I come from. So I'm like,
I
don't know what y'all talking about.
Right.
And they was like, oh, okay, you don't? You out of here.
Lumped you in there with it.
Yes, sir. They was like, you out of here. And so, that's what happened.
And you end up going where?
To Custer, man.
Custer.
Shout out to Cougars, man. Shout out to my fellow Cougars.
What was it like going from you was at Mesmer your freshman year for was it the whole freshman year or was it like
No, I was at Mesmer. I was at Mesmer for 3 months.
for 3 months? So it was just that quick. So you Mesmer 3 months and then it's like okay, boom, I got a taste of the private school life, and now I go right back.
Okay. Yeah,
What was it like? What was that transition like?
Man, it was right in the beginning. I'm gonna be honest with you. I went to Custer and fit right in.
Right.
Like
You was used to it.
Came, what's up, bro? I ain't seen you in a minute. It's just
Right.
But what I started to notice was people were starting to position themselves where they was gonna be in life already. So if you was gonna be in the streets, you was kind of
already over there.
Here. If you was finna start trying to be in sports and play basketball, you was kind of already over here.
Right.
Honestly, even though I was coming out of, I wasn't ready to make no choice and decision.
Right.
I was just being me, which was a jack of all trades. I
Right.
could really do everything,
Right.
But going to Custer showed me like you got to pick, and I wasn't ready to grow up. So I was perfectly fine on the outside, but people didn't know on the inside. I'm like, I want to go back to management.
Right.
Bro, like wasn't no fights.
Uh-huh.
Everybody for the most part pretty much got along.
Right.
School was clean.
Mm-hmm.
The lunches was better.
Yeah, we did have what was it? Fruitopias, fries with cheese, with ranch, salads. Remember we had them big old salads.
Yeah, you just put whatever you want on that joint, like
chicken sandwiches, burgers.
And so for me, bro, it was like I'm gonna go back to Maryland. I ain't telling nobody.
Right.
So I remember at the end of the year, they was like, "Bro, you coming back next year, ain't you?" Because I was in the open gym playing ball. They could see I could hoop.
Right.
You coming back next year, ain't you? Like, yeah, man. I'm like,
this is at Custer.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
I'm trying to go back to Mesmer in my mind.
Right.
And I promise you, man, I don't know how this day.
Uh-huh.
My mama might take credit for it, but I don't know if it was Connor. But bro, like I don't remember no papers being signed, nothing for me to get back into Mesmer. A pamphlet just came, and it was like I was enrolled back in
for sophomore year.
Yeah, so hey man, shout out to if that was Mr. Connor. I don't know, bro. I'm telling you this.
It probably was.
There was no conversation with me and my mom that I was going back to Mesmer. I don't know if it was a glitch in their system. Nothing.
But you was back enrolled.
Back enrolled. The stuff. So I'm looking like it came from me and my sister. Now when most people get kicked out of Mesmer, name anybody that came back, bro. I can name 2 people that came back. Felix, rest in peace.
Yeah.
Felix.
Fee.
And then I think his name is he's a preacher now, George. I think if I'm not mistaken, he can comment if he ever see it. But
George with the braids.
Yeah, George. I think he had left and came back to
Okay.
Mesmer.
Okay.
But when people was gone, they was gone.
Yeah, you weren't coming back.
So this is an extraordinary second chance right here.
Yeah, because Mesmer used to be zero tolerance for everything. You fight, you gone. You
Bob.
argue, you gone. Brother Bob.
This is that Brother Bob era, the real Brother Bob era, not
the one. The
real Brother Bob.
Remember, he's had a suit. Once he flicked that thing back, hey, come here, them fingers. It was over with. That's crazy. What would you say? Would you say that was your biggest turning point in your life, or what would you say was your biggest turning point?
Bro, one of them.
Okay.
And at the time, I didn't know it. You know what I mean? Like, I just was like, oh yeah, okay, I'm going back to Mesmer. Like, but when I look back on it, definitely, bro, because again, like I told you, my upbringing prepared me for transitions to any environment, right?
Gotcha.
And I say that to say, if I'm here, I know how to handle myself here. If I'm there, I know how to handle myself there. So, it really wasn't. It wouldn't have been nothing for me to stay at Custer, but my personality would have had to change.
Right.
Things would have had to change because it you know what I mean? Like to I don't want to, and I ain't trying to make it seem like it was East Side High or nothing like that. Because it was plenty, good people that got good grades and stuff like that. But bro, it was just a different environment. Like it was few
and far in between,
yeah.
As opposed to Mesmer, where you had people like. You had some people that fell by the wayside, but you had at Mesmer, it was really like academic focus, try to better yourself. If you want to play sports, you had to have it together. Not even just academic, you had to have your behavior in check. Because remember, like if you ain't had your behavior in check, you couldn't.
You ain't doing nothing. And so like, but at Custer, you might be a basketball player, and then somebody might be trying to treat you like what they think like a basketball player, and then like I said, you coming from this advice, like hold on, bro, like this ain't that, right? Right. So it brings a lot more problems. At Mesmer, you can just be yourself. You know what I mean? If you funny in real life, if you like to draw, you can be yourself without any immediate, like, we had our
jokes,
and,
right?
You know what I mean? But
it
wasn't
was
nobody trying to
like really
start nothing with you or
right.
do, you know what I mean?
Discourage you. When nobody was trying to discourage you, it was really all in fun. You know what I mean? Everybody had their own little stuff. Because think about it, we were talking about the other day, like, it was some people that came from that school that was super smart.
For sure.
Ronnie Rowe, where do you say she went?
Shout out to Ronnie Rowe. I think she went to Duke because at graduation they said she had a full ride to Duke. I don't know if she went, but shout out to Ronnie Rowe.
Ronnie Rowe was smart.
Comment on this.
I was number one in the freshman class for like a month, and then she took off.
She
smoked me.
She smoked
and then Romero went to.
It was so easy for Ronnie, bro. She was like a teacher's assistant after a while.
Was she?
She helping me. It's like, oh yeah, all you got to do is. And I messed with her so tough because little did people know. I don't know how many people really rock with Ronnie Rowe, but I did because it's something about like sweet, cool females. Like she was always like that.
Super.
So I got to know Ronnie, and she was real nice. She was like a cool, funny person. Actually,
right.
So she always helped me. Shout out Ronnie Rowe.
Yeah. Man, the high school was crazy. I enjoyed it for sure. Would you, if you could go back in time, would you do high school again?
Would it be like today, with the kids today, or if we talking about because if it's like it is now, no.
No. I'm talking about like going back to when it was for us. Would you go back and do it? I enjoyed high school.
I did.
I enjoyed it. Like regardless of what went on, I enjoyed high school. So like we have fun.
Nah, bro. I put my in high school, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. Outside of like basketball, like doing, but I put my feet in the put my foot marks in the pavement in school, bro.
In school?
I think that if you went to our school, you can't say whether you was my guy or you like me as a female, whatever. You can't say you ain't know me. So
undeniable.
Yeah, I made my mark. Bro.
Some people can act like it, but it's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
It's undeniable.
Like, you talking about dude? Whatever your description of me is, you might be like, oh yeah, short dude, or dude with the annoying, whatever.
Yeah.
Feel about me. I made my mark, bro. So I wouldn't go back. Not on that.
Do you have any regrets from high school? I know one that we could think of. I don't think it has to be a regret, but
I know what you're saying.
And we share that one.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, regrets. You know what, bro? I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to homecoming.
I didn't make it to homecoming either.
None of that type. Like.
Would you go back and do it, or that just wasn't you?
Would I go back and do it? If everybody in my life is in my life at that time was in my life, man, probably not. I probably wouldn't do it.
You probably wouldn't do it?
Nah, because I wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't go back. I wouldn't go back and do like prom and all of that stuff. Because in the end of the day, I mean,
right?
What did it really do for anybody? You know what I mean? Like, how many people?
Well, we can agree that high school was fun, though.
Oh man, what? Like, bro, the games, the parties, the friendships. I remember it was Valentine's Day, man, and we was both. You had the Monte Carlo,
95.
And I remember us going up to Mayfair trying to get our Valentine's some gifts and stuff like that, man. So it was the small things like that, bro, that I look back on. We was in there trying to get the Valentine's Air Force Ones, the Doogies came.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Do little stuff like that, man. So like little memories like that, man. I wouldn't trade it, especially for like the kids, the youth, man. They had a society, man, is just at a funny place. So redoing high school in today's era. Now, if I could go back then, probably not either then, because like I said, I put my foot in the cement, right. Man. I put my footprints down.
High school definitely different now. I mean, back then we was able to catch the bus to go places. We was staying late. We would figure out rides. We would give each other rides if we needed. You know what I'm saying? Everybody low key kind of like looked out for each other. Even if at Mesmer at least, right? Like that was kind of what it is. Like even if you ain't like such and such, it'd be like, ain't nobody really gonna leave nobody out. We would rib somebody.
Yeah, that's it. But I think
That's
that's it.
everywhere.
I don't care if you in Africa, bro. They rib. They
In
rib. In
Africa.
Africa, they rib.
In Africa.
Like for real, like in London,
Right.
everywhere, they getting it on. So you ain't gonna get past that. 'Cause I think
Right.
that's just something that kids, man, kids can be cruel. So you ain't getting past that. But once you learn to grow that thick skin, and that's another thing. So when we go back to MPS, that gave me thick skin, bro, because you dealing with that out the door
All day long.
I don't care who you is, like
Right.
unless I'm talking about your mama. You know what I mean? Just spent $5,000 on new school clothes when school starts. Somebody gonna find something to rib you about.
Something.
Like,
even if you are fresh.
Yeah, you is fresh. You get so
you either can't read.
You gonna have to learn to deal with that. Like
you can't write.
Yeah.
Everybody got it, but
yeah, for sure.
So if we fast forward, we got out of high school and stuff now. A lot of things, everybody went their separate ways, right?
Yeah.
And now we both grown, right?
Yeah.
So now it's like, what is it like being like a husband and a father and an entrepreneur?
Oh man, it's funny you say that, man, because I never consider myself I never wrote that down to look at it and say I'm all those titles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's just it's surreal, bro. Because I think at a young age, man, we all know that you're gonna get to a point where you have to mature and you gotta grow up, right? But for that moment to actually come, bro, I was just talking to somebody the other day and they hit me with a cold reality. Like it was somebody that was older than me. They're like, he like 41, ain't he? And I'm like, hey, he is. Like, so I had to in relation to my age to his, I was just looking. I was like, man, we really at that point. And I'm saying that to say everybody don't have them titles. We at a point where, but everybody don't have father,
husband,
entrepreneur, or even job. Like,
right.
Some people kind of stuck in the past. And I remember something my dad told me, man. That was the importance of having a father too. A lot of wisdom came from that.
Right.
I remember he was telling me, I ain't gonna say who it is, but he was telling me about an older guy.
Uh-huh.
And he was like, son, I remember him coming on the block in the neighborhood when we was doing our thing, and he was still throwing up forks. He was still gangbanging. He's like 60, late 60s at this point in time. And he was
60 years old, gangbanging is crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. That's nuts. That's insane. You know what I mean, right? And true enough, people that you always gonna reminisce on your past and stuff like that, but to still be living in that, bro.
To be glorifying that.
I'm saying that to say I see a lot of people still living in
them ways.
And what we was doing when we was in high school
or
early 20, you know what I mean? And so for you to call me all of those things, man, I appreciate being able to grow into that. I appreciate just even having the ability and the time and the space to grow into all of those.
Because when did you get married? Last year?
A couple months ago, like 4 months ago, maybe. Yeah.
That's crazy. Congratulations again. So you're still a newlywed. I think they still call it the honeymoon stage, but whatever. You got 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, 2 girls, right?
Daughters.
2 daughters. What's that like having 2 daughters?
A lot of kisses.
A lot of kisses, a lot of love.
Kisses. I get them 101 kisses. I don't care who get mad. I don't care where we at. We can be in public. My mama, why stop kissing him? Because I know how I grew up, man. Like I explained to you, I had a tough as nails pops, tough as nail father, and low key emotionally, mom's was tough too, but she was a single woman in the world. She had to be, right? So that kind of shuts a little bit of that.
She had to adapt to that.
Around. Yeah, and it took for me to get older to realize that, because when you coming up, you like, man, nah.
Do you think we give our parents enough credit, for that? Because a lot of people. I mean, I didn't see so many people look at it and be like, when they get older, they want to blame their parent and come down on their parent like you weren't. And I'm of the mindset, kind of like what you were saying. Like I recognize like my mom was a single parent.
Yeah.
So some of the stuff she did during that time, that's how she had to actually like navigate that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I can respect that. So now I don't look back like you didn't do this for me. I don't look at that because that was a different time, like you said.
Well, I'm gonna say this. Well, it takes maturity to get to that point. Don't get
Agreed.
it twisted.
Agreed.
I was at a point where I'm like, man, if Pops, because when I got kicked out of Mesmer, one thing I didn't put on my dad was in the penitentiary.
Okay.
And I remember when I got kicked out, going up there to see him. I'm like, oh, he finna, you know what I mean? Man, listen, bro. My dad, I remember he called me on the jail phone. And he said, boy, you think I can't touch you from in here?
I remember you telling me this story.
Right, so I'm like, Kenny? I'm like, who he finna have come over here? One of my uncles, you know what I mean? So he had, so when I was going up to see him.
That fear is so powerful, bro.
It's real. And you talking about.
Through a phone.
You talking about me. I
Through
wasn't running around here scared of, you know what I mean? A lot of people, you know what I mean? I wasn't running around here just like,
right.
Nah, you know what I mean? Because I knew who he was, though. You know what I mean?
But through the phone, like, that says so much about a father, man.
That says so much about a father. Even from there, though.
And now it's your turn to be a father.
When it comes to giving our parents, man, credit, I just think that that comes with maturity, man. Because obviously they were young.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they still figuring things out themselves. And like, when I got kicked out of Mesmer, man, in the beginning when I was young and, coming up, I'm like, man, if my dad would have been out, maybe I wouldn't have got kicked out of Mesmer. Maybe I would have did better and you know what I mean, in school and stuff like that. Nah, honestly, but I realized that he was doing the best. And maybe some people don't think it was his best, but he was doing the best with what he had and the knowledge and information that he had at the time, trying to navigate the world. That was a different world at the time. We got a lot more opportunities. The internet is readily available to do certain things.
Yeah.
So I just think that we that comes with maturity, man. And I think honestly, that usually come around like when you're getting close to like 30 years old, you kind of can reflect back.
Yeah.
And then you become your own parent. And then you like, you know what I mean? So shout out to my parents, man. I don't think we definitely don't give them enough credit when we're young, but I think it just, that come with time and maturity.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you because I know a lot of people like be going crazy on their parents, like you didn't do this and you know what I mean? So it's hard. So and now just thinking about that, like how do you maintain like some sort of semblance of like I'm being present, I got time for work, but I got time for my family. I'm there for the girls. I'm there for my wife. Also giving her some time too. Like, how do you kind of? I know work-life balance is like a cliche, but how do you find that balance of being a father, being a husband, and working? Like, what do you try to do?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I just do it, bro. Like my schedule overloaded all the time, but I just, I don't have no downtime really, so that's how I do it. But I wanted to say too, man, because it's funny that you asked that question. I don't got it all figured out, even though I got these titles, entrepreneur. You know what I mean? I've been only had that title for 3.5 years. I mean, that's a long time as far as like having your own business and it actually producing for you. But I've been an entrepreneur for, I mean, the true sense of legally being an entrepreneur 3.5 years. So it's like, it's a lot that come with that title alone.
Right.
To make, you know what I mean?
Running your own business.
And then now you got to come home and then you got to give your kids time. So really at this point, I haven't really mastered how to etch out time for this, and that. What I do is I just keep going. Like,
got you. So you in the
moment. I got to do this
moment.
tomorrow. I got to do that. I got to do that. I don't really turn nothing down. It's just like I'm just doing it. Now I'm gonna get to a point where I burn out, and then that's when I gotta kind of start looking at some strategies on how to be like, all right, you got to slow down on this, get this a little more time, your kids, your family. You know what I mean?
And I think that's kind of like what you just said is funny because I think that's kind of like the standard way a lot of men are wired to just go. Yeah. And then it take a situation where I'm like, I'm burnt out, I'm exhausted for you. Like, okay, no, I need to get this in order.
Yeah.
And so like now I've been trying to figure out different ways to kind of like get in front of that as much as possible. But like you said, sometimes when you're in the moment, and you actually like being a father, working, being a husband, you just like, I'm just doing it. I'm here. I'm doing it. I'm trying to be present. I just like keep going. I don't really have time to kind of like sit back and think of like, I'm going to put this bucket of time here, this bucket of time here. And then for yourself too.
Well, especially when it's new.
Yeah.
Now my kids is younger. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. So it's like.
Yeah, you got the itty bitties.
Yeah, then, so all of this stuff is new. I mean, everything that comes with that, maintaining a home, then you still got your friends. Y'all, sometimes, people send me memes like,
That's
or
all we do all
videos all
day.
day,
We
right?
laughing at
So
something all
then
day.
I might see like one sent four, and I might see like Trill sent 2 or 3. Then my cousin Swift, he might have sent 5. So it's
Right.
like you gotta sit down and get them some time too, because these are the people that's your crutch and your backbone when you're going through things, and then you just kind of need to talk to a man instead of,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? As they don't know
Absolutely.
from a man perspective,
Absolutely.
what you going through. So you got to get them time too. You got to
Yeah.
have time for your
How important is that to have somebody to be a sounding board, but also you being a sounding board for them, and then even more importantly, having somebody that you can talk to that's not always going to agree with you, or that'll point you out and be like, "Yeah, Vic, I don't know," or you could tell me like, "What? Like, I see what you're saying, but you might want to do this because this is how this person might feel."
I'm not gonna lie to you. It all depends on what type of individual you're dealing with. Now, when you're dealing with a humble, level-headed individual,
Right.
you know what I mean? That is like the most important thing that you can have. I'm talking about from significant other, from mom, from dad.
Right.
Not no malice,
Right.
but they telling you like you kind of might have been wrong in that
Exactly.
situation.
Exactly.
And I'm gonna explain to you how, and it's gonna make sense.
Right.
Not just to tell you you're wrong to humble you,
Right.
but to tell you you're wrong because they might have seen some error in. Okay, maybe he ain't mean it like that. You feel what I'm saying? Like sometimes, because we all need that, bro. I don't care how intelligent, smart we think we is. You can't see the field. You on the field, right? The coach is on the sideline watching. So sometimes these people in our life are coaches, assistant coaches, and they watching like, watch out for this, watch out for that. Don't make that mistake. I made that mistake.
Right.
So it's important to have those people that's gonna call you out on
Right.
when you're not wrong, you're right, and then just to have those, like you said, those people that you can bounce ideas off and things like that. Man, it's like it's everything, especially when you get older. When you young and you moving and you going, it's like.
So is it easier? Is it easier to digest that type of criticism, that type of guidance now that we are 36?
I'm 36. Yeah.
36 years old. It's easier to accept that now as opposed to when we was kids.
For me,
I think so.
No, for me though. But remember, we got to go back to what we talked about earlier in the conversation. Maturity. What? I was at a I was at an event, right? I don't want to say what event it is because I don't know nobody. But I was at an event, right? And I'm in there, man. I'm showing love and I'm having fun. And like, bro, I'm just sitting around and cats mean mugging. Their arms is, you know what I mean? We ain't talking about, this ain't no nightclub. This is an event. So, and I'm looking, but I'm shaking hands with everybody.
And you your current age?
I'm my current age. This was a couple months ago, right?
We gotta stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm glad you, listen, being 36 and still trying to, it's crazy, man. But let me just finish the story. So I'm in there, they mean mugging and, and I'm just like, dog, like you got like an 18, 19-year-old, like maturity is important, bro. I'm talking about like, you can't be 36, booty still hanging out sagging, bro.
Right.
Like we gotta, and I ain't saying we can still keep our little urbanness to the dressing, but maturity is important. So accepting some of these concepts and things we saying sounds easy to a person that's maturing, but somebody who ain't mature, bro, they still, it's like, bro, what you mean? And you know what I mean? When you trying to correct them, is, they everything is an attack when you young.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how you look at it. Everything is an attack.
So is it okay, so that's crazy that you brought that up, where people still feel like you attacking their character when you try to say something and maybe correct them. And it might be out of love. It has to be a self-esteem type thing then. It has to be some kind of self-consciousness for you to just still want to be in that mode. Yeah. Or, they say young fools end up being old fools. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But it still goes to that maturity, but do sometimes maturity you think is tied to our self-esteem and how we view ourselves?
Yeah, definitely how we view ourselves.
Because no way in the world a 36-year-old man should still be mugging another 36-year-old man when he walk in the building. Or just
like trying to, let's just keep it real, trying to act like you still in the streets.
Yeah, what we posing for?
Like, you know what I mean? That's basically what was happening. It was cats in there, we from this hood, and trying to act like you in the streets, but y'all are fathers. Y'all are, I know what y'all doing.
That's
right?
over with.
And it's over.
You're not young no more.
If you lived it, the story gonna speak for itself. If you lived, we lived through that,
right?
That point in our life. And I think that when you saying is it tied to um, our view of ourselves, I definitely do, because the biggest thing is being able to see yourself as something other than what you used to be,
Right.
or the way that other people used to see you.
Yeah.
Right, Walt?
Yeah.
So let's be real. Like, an NBA player been playing basketball 20 years and he retired. When he retired, bro, and he walk in the store and now they ain't, the fans ain't calling his name like that no more. That's a tough pill to swallow, right?
Yeah, you right.
You a nice looking female. You've been a nice looking female all your life. You get a little bit older, and now all the guys ain't beating out of your door the way. That don't mean you're not nice looking no more, but it's just like it ain't the way that it used to be. That's kind of a hard pill to swallow, right?
Right.
So it comes with
The
maturity
reality.
to understand that inside, listen,
Right.
inside, you still have value outside of all of that.
Exactly.
That's what I always had. So when you say I always was kind of like sure of myself and stuff, because what? Even if I didn't have the best clothes and you did, and she liked you, I still knew who I was. She
Right.
just don't see it yet.
Right.
She just don't see it
That's
yet.
real. That's real.
And then when I get fresh, I remember you ain't seen that. I remember she seen that.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I remember she seen that. So it goes back to what you said in the beginning of the interview, showing love and highlighting the people that did see it, right? So I say that to say, yes, it's definitely directly tied into how we view ourselves, because sometimes we don't see ourselves being nothing other than what we was. I started seeing myself as an entrepreneur, a father, a husband, a family man.
You can see it.
I started visioning it for myself,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't easy, bro.
Right.
I still deal with addressing problems and things that happen the way that I used to when I was younger. Right.
Right.
But I realized that you got a whole lot more going on. So should you really? Do it really make sense to give energy to that? Right.
Do I need
now
to entertain that? I don't need to entertain it.
I
I'm
might
picking
not
my
need to
battles at
entertain
this
that.
point. Like,
Yeah,
oh, you
because-
said that? Cool. I'm over it.
Because so I said that to say, but if you still tied into, man, ain't nobody never played with me since I've been a kid, right? You gonna be 38 still trying to prove you the toughest dude in the room.
Right.
When you know who you is,
And you got a family.
When you know who you is, you don't have to you don't have to fake for nobody. You don't have to put on an image and mean. I can go somewhere and have fun and laugh and shake hands, because I know who I am on the inside.
Right.
And I understand that me growing doesn't stop me from, protecting myself, or if something like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just saying, like, that doesn't, but a lot of people put on this mask because they scared not to be that. Because somebody might, you know what I mean? And that's what's going on a lot in the streets too, with the young guys and the kids, right? It's like, if I don't act like this, people gonna think they can run over me. They can, you feel what I'm saying?
It's a lot of facades with that, especially with kids, and kids been, kind of like sent off with that because you got 38-year-olds posing the same way, and the kids see that, and what they gonna do? The kids mimic what they see and repeat what they hear.
And guess what? The reality is, it needs to be preached earlier. That has, you know, this image of, I got my hat cocked to the Gucci hat cocked to the side with my booty. That don't make you. Right. That doesn't make you.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying?
You still you.
You're still you.
You posing as something else, but you still you.
And so that's the importance, is understanding who you are and finding value in who you are.
Absolutely.
Before because the world will tell you. I learned this, man. The world gonna tell you who they think you are, but you got to know who you is.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Plenty of people try to tell me I wouldn't. You know what I mean?
Right. But
you was always sure of yourself.
Yeah.
So
I know you got going back to it again. You got 2 daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you was telling me the other day just how you've been advocating for like your kids and stuff like that. What is it like being a black father, advocating for your kid and education?
Oh man.
Because there's no disrespect to any fathers that are,
Yeah.
but I'm just gonna be real. Just from being in education for a long time, advocating for your child as black fathers advocating for their children is somewhat rare. Usually, it's a mother, or usually it's a grandmother, maybe even a grandfather more before a black father.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they just let it go. Parents let it all go, male and female. But what is it like to be a black father advocating for your child?
again, like you said, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. It's natural because, as you know, man, we went to school together, so
Yep.
I've always been kind of outspoken when it comes to I feel like something that's injustice.
Yes.
You know,
Always.
if it's unjust, I'm speaking on it.
What was your favorite thing? Nah, bro.
Nah, we ain't. We, you know, and it's to the office. You know what I mean? You know, it's funny. Well, like everybody try to. That's another thing too. Before I go back to that, everybody try to be I was the bad kid in school. I don't remember y'all being in the office as much as me. I don't remember that. But
They make it a competition.
Yeah, they make it I was bad. Like, I don't remember that. I got the record to prove they kicked me out. You know what I mean? But no, I'm just saying that to say,
Right.
no, but I always just kind of spoke out, bro. So, but what it is though, in my experience in this short amount of time, is it's scary because you see what the school system has to offer your child, right? So then you start asking yourself, do I need to move outside of
The county.
the county to get better schooling? But then now my kids around people that don't look like them as much.
Culture
That's
shock.
kind of a culture shock, and then you want to keep
Other things come with that too.
yeah. You know, it's Black History Month, so you know I'm real big on our kids knowing the people that paved the way for us. So I'm big on them keeping the look, their culture.
Right.
So I don't want
Right.
them to go out there and just get overwhelmed with, so
Right.
it's tough, bro. Like
Right.
it's tough in that sense. But as far as standing up for minds, it's always gonna come easy because I've been doing that since the beginning. And then they minds, they ain't asked to be here, so I'm the one that has to protect
Yep.
and kind of guide them, to lead the best life that they can. So I mean, that's normal for me.
No, that's super admirable, bro. And just our conversation that we have on the regular,
Yeah,
beyond
for sure,
the screen
for
and things like that. I see it, I recognize it, and I'm happy that you're doing it, man.
I appreciate that.
It gives me a lot of confidence to be like, yep, we still do got some people out here that's solid, that's doing the right thing, especially standing by their kids and being 10 toes.
No doubt.
And it kind of like it flips the stereotype on the side of his head, on top of his head, because it's usually, this is what the moms do, this is what the moms do. And shout out to the moms, because we had mothers that would stand up for us, but I think we came from that generation where it's like, yeah, we didn't know what we were doing as kids, but as we got older, we was like, nope, this is the type of dad I want to be, this type of father, this type of husband I want to be.
So let me say this too, Walt. This all goes back to what you see. So I've been throwing credit to my mom and my papa our interview, but I want to say this: on my dad's side, I come from a family of men. So when we have barbecues, it's the men that get it together. When it's like you and your cousin, y'all coming together, y'all finna talk about this. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's men. I've seen men doing it, so I always seen the importance of when they would be trying to like, man, I don't need no man. I'm like, nah, I seen, and even in their faults, because they wasn't perfect people.
Right.
Saying, but I've seen them be assertive.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? I didn't see them sit back and be like, you know what I mean? I seen them be like,
You see them tuck their tail.
Yeah, so for me, it's the only thing I know, bro. The only thing I know how to do is be out front for my family. You know,
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And speaking, since we talking about the kids and talking about me and putting things together, you just hosted the 12th annual Tot Lot tournament last year for Labor Day. If you haven't checked out that event, you need to check it out. I think I was a part of it with the last two times on the teams and stuff like. We won it this year. So
you got MVP. So don't. He tried to. Well, humble.
That
man,
was our
but he got
MVP,
the
man.
MVP, man. Nah, bro, you turned up at the end. We was dead.
yeah, we was all dead.
Yeah,
I
we dead
appreciate
tired
that.
out there.
So just speak about that, the Tot Lot tournament, and the community impact and what you've been trying to do with that.
Yeah, man.
Over the years.
So, bro, it started honestly. You're gonna get people saying different things, but from what I remember, it started 2012. Just kind of a way to give back to the community I came up in, bro. I appreciated that community because, as I said earlier in the interview, we moved a lot. So that was our first, like for my mom, me and my sister, that was our first, like, all right, we planted here, we here for years type of situation. And I learned so many lessons up there, life lessons up there. And so when I became grown, I seen the little kids running around, bro. And I just remember when we was that age, nobody was up there.
Right.
So I just would just, you know what I mean, just try to be like more of a, I don't want to say a mentor or good, because I wasn't not necessarily saying like the best character to be, but I was trying. I was like,
Right.
all right, we
Right.
got them. Let's do something. Let's put together like some barbecue. And it started small, and then it just started growing
Elevating.
and growing and growing. And we on our 13th year this year, man.
I'm looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, it'd be fun, man. Man, if you have not came out, if you went to school with me and Walt, you associated with us, man, come out. It is definitely a good time. It's a hidden gem in the city, man.
For
It's
sure.
definitely
For
a
sure.
hidden gem.
We're gonna shine a lot of light on that. You know, this year's gonna be a little bit different, and I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to it. And I just want to make sure that people know that like you were doing a lot of this stuff like straight out of your pocket.
Yeah.
Not saying that you care about being noted or credited for that, but I know that that's a lot in terms of the organization of everything from the game to the people coming there, the DJ, the generator, the food, the school supplies, how things are going to be run, doing things on time, interacting with the crowd, and offering other people them opportunities. And I think that's a great thing that you've been doing.
Yeah.
And, I'm salty that I didn't jump on before and support you more. I feel bad for coming on so late.
That's all good.
But I thought it was more so of a neighborhood thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I respected the fact like, oh, that's the neighborhood thing. I might pull up and come watch y'all.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So looking forward to it this year. So but with that, I'm gonna ask you this. This is the question I gotta ask everybody.
Yeah.
What's your motive for everything that you do?
Man, that's a deep question, man. I would say, of course, my family, right? I think it's important, especially when you have children, to leave a legacy of. Remember, I was just telling you, I looked at my dad and my mom to see who I was and wasn't. So when they see their dad doing, this, that, entrepreneur, he owned that building, or he, you know what I mean? I think it lets them know who they are and aren't. So of course my family, but I would just say what motivates me, or what's my motivation is time. I learned, bro, we don't have as much time as we think we got, right?
Yes.
Look how quick we became in our mid-30s. You know what I mean? It seemed like just yesterday, bro, we was at
Burger King.
At Burger King, laughing, talking, doing homework and stuff like that, trying to make the basketball team.
Battle raps.
Just all of those things, bro. But then we, like this in a flash of an eye, some of our friends got 18, 19-year-old kids.
Yeah.
I got small kids, but, so I said all that to say, time, bro. Like, time motivates me. Every morning I get up, I'm like, I got to be doing something. I got to be, I need to be doing this. I need to be doing that because I ain't got all day. I ain't got time. I got to go do this before I got to go pick up my kids. I got to go do this because I got to go grocery shopping. I got to go do this because I was supposed to meet Walt over here so we could put the banner up for da-da-da. Like, I don't have time, bro. So I think time motivates me the most, man, is to be the most and get the most out of this life that I can get out of it. I think that's my motive, but I do got one question for you, man. Why did you quit the team senior year, man?
You mean why did we?
Yeah.
We quit the team.
Hey.
You already know what was going on, man. That was our senior year.
Yeah.
Think about it. Junior year, that summer going into our senior year, we just focused on like we can't wait for the senior year.
Yeah.
Me, you, Trail. I think Pierre was supposed to play. Pierre and them getting cut or whatever. It was just a lot of crazy stuff that went on.
Yeah.
Dave came in was playing. It was just we got a new coach and he's just know it was a lot of crazy stuff going on, and he was playing with us.
Yeah,
he was playing with it. It was a lot of stuff, and I was like, as a kid, we 17, 16, 17. That's a lot to try to wrestle with mentally, and I was just like, all right, we're going to try it. Think about how long we stayed.
Yeah.
And then it was just like, after St. John's, Trayvon Hughes game, we played great, and I'm done. It's over with. It's over with. Like, this don't make sense, bro.
And the reason I asked that question, one, because me and Trell, we laugh and we talk about that all the time. He said he's still mad at us for quitting the team. I told him, I said, bro, you wasn't embarrassed like we was, bro. We
What?
You got cats coming from other schools, like, oh, he really weak? You know what I mean? Like, shit, what? That's unheard of.
Getting put in.
That's unheard of.
Getting put in garbage time.
That's unheard of.
In front of your home crowd is crazy. I launched that boy every time.
Hey, I ain't lying to you. I said, nah, I can't do that. I could be doing something else, bro. I got up out of there. But
come on, man. And then we tried to come back.
But who did? I didn't.
Yes, we did because Brother Bob said we couldn't come
Like,
back.
you tried to come back.
Yeah, I tried to come.
The dog came to me. I said, I'm done, bro. You ain't finna embarrass me.
Yeah, he did come to me.
Else.
Actually, I thought I was
said,
on some like a package deal, like bring us
Yeah.
both back.
Okay.
And Brother Bob was
Okay.
like, "No."
But no, I said that, bro, to say because over the years, man, you continue to play and stuff like that, man. And I watched you just like you had that love for the game, and I always looked at it, I'm like, man, why Walt didn't, for me, I
Right.
could play, but what I started learning was as I started going on, I love to compete. I didn't love the game.
Got you.
You know what I mean? That's what I found out in that quitting for dog, because I didn't love it enough to sit on the bench. I'm a difference maker, right?
Right,
so,
right.
This is what I said. You get older, you mature, and you learn yourself.
Right, right, absolutely.
I'm a difference maker, so if I'm somewhere where I'm not making no difference, I'm not being motivated.
Yeah, and I'm wasting space.
Yeah, and I'm feeling like I'm not feeding into my passion, and I don't
Got
have
you.
time. Remember, I went back to time. I don't have time. I got, you know what I mean. So you think I'm gonna be sitting on? But I had to ask that man, cause Trell, he always be like, man, you and Walt quit on me, man, and man, I'm like, man, you was getting time. You was good. You was putting up 20 shots a game.
Right, you was a star player, boy.
Yeah,
And then he just quit in the top lot 2 years ago.
Yeah, see, look.
So he can't say
got
that.
back at him. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
get back at him, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, man, definitely, bro. I appreciate being able to be on here, man, and build with you.
For sure.
And I like what you're doing with this, bro. And I just say, man, continue, man. Much success to you and your family. Lil Walt, the wife, the family and stuff
Right.
like that, man. And let's just continue to grow, bro. I appreciate you.
For sure, I appreciate you for coming, man. And I'm gonna have to have you come on again because you got a lot of wisdom and even some stuff we was talking about off camera. We got to bring segments and talk about that in a more collaborative space. But and I admire you as a friend, as a father, as a husband. Like I said, I'm not gonna call you a community activist, but you working with the community, and just being somebody that I can call on, in terms of whatever I got going on. But until next time, what's your motive?